Hey, hey. Thank you for watching my channel. I am the Divine Maverick, but you can call me Yolanda. I am pulling energy for the karmic again. I can't let this go until Spirit lets me go. Lets me let this go, right? So, the intention I set was, what did our Divine Masculine learn from being in this karmic relationship? What did he learn from the karmic? Because he learned something. That's why he's not with us or with you, person watching. He had to learn a lesson so he wouldn't come to you and kill you with his unhealed wounds and his baggage and his stuff. So I'm going to be pulling some energy for the Divine Masculine and the karmic. Mostly the Divine Masculine. Maybe you'll be in here too. I don't know. But we're going to get an overall message for the reading. See what they learned. Put my easel there. Balance. Card number 19. 1 plus 9 is 10. They're done. Some of them are almost out of their lesson, out of this cycle. Thank heavens. Bottom of the deck is protection. Some of them learned how to protect themselves because they were dealing with a special kind of person. Let me get this out of the way. Thank you for your likes, your subscribes, your shares, your comments. I answer each and every comment that comes for now until 1.8 million of them start coming, and then I'll figure something else out. But I take my time because you've taken your time to write me. I take my time and answer you back. Thank you for your attention to this channel. You could be anywhere in the world, but you chose to be here with me. So I thank you for that. Don't forget to subscribe. If this is your first time, welcome. Just so you know, once I start talking, while you're watching this video, it's all the message. Everything that comes out of my mouth from the moment you start watching until the moment you click off is the message. There's nothing that was said mistakenly. Even if I stutter, I'm stuttering divinely, right? Okay. If you like the way I read, everything that you need to know about me can be found in the description box below. I call it my love and light session. We get together and talk one-on-one. These general readings are not supposed to resonate with everyone all over the place at the same time, every time. Okay? So that's why if you want something a little more personal, you have to book something a little more personal. Please and thank you. What they learned. They learned about heartbreak is what they learned. They learned about despair. They learned about endings. They learned about putting their foot down. They learned about grief and sorrow. They learned about anger and rage. They learned about their dark side. They learned about what it feels like to give a heart and to have it trampled upon. Some of them got payback from breaking hearts before they met this karmic because some of them were in some player energy, but they learned that that doesn't feel good because they had a heart of flesh when they came to this karmic's, into this karmic's life. So your masculine is learning and has learned all about heartbreak. And so now they think twice before they commit to anyone. That's why he's dragging his feet coming to you, feminine, because he's thinking twice because he jumped into this situation with the karmic really, really fast. And so he learned all about what it feels like to have your heart mistaken for a punching bag or just something to be tossed to and fro, because this karmic indeed had a field day with this masculine. They came together like a whirlwind, like just white hot passion, a very passionate connection at first. That was the draw. It was the sexual energy between the two of them. But as time wore on, it began to be more of an obligation and not a pleasure anymore. So this masculine feels like he was bamboozled. This masculine feels like he was duped or tricked. A lot of trickery. And so he learned through this karmic, excuse me. Somebody needs to say something. He learned how to speak his truth. I'm sorry, my throat chakra all of a sudden just started getting ticklish. But there it is again. Some of these karmics, they would physically fight. They would choke each other. She would choke him, though. Wild, hellion, Tasmanian devil. Anyway. But if the karmic wasn't what we call cray-cray, then how could they learn the lesson? That's the whole point of the twin flame journey. If they were not a karmic and they were great in it, they wouldn't be with you. So there you go. Anyway, some masculines have learned to speak their truth because of the heartbreak and betrayal. All right. And what we already said, they've learned balance. They've learned how to balance their time. They've learned how to balance their checkbooks. Some of them were not very good with money, but because the karmic that they had was very materialistic, very gluttonous, very demanding, they learned that they needed to find balance in work, career, finance, even school. Scorpio energy is out here with the death card. Some of these masculines learned about transforming. Some of these masculines felt like they wanted to die. Some of these masculines actually did die, meaning die to themselves, die to some of their hopes and dreams die. I hear they watched some hopes and dreams die. They watched dreams fade. They watched things end, whether it was long-term friendships because the karmic was too demanding, too jealous, too possessive. So they lost friends behind it, even friends that advised them, you need to get rid of that lady. You need to leave her alone. But they didn't listen. So they learned all about endings and they learned about death. And they even learned what death feels like. Some of them were brought together with this. This is the second time I'm hearing this message. Brought together as karmic because of a death in the family, a death of a patriarch, a death of a matriarch, but death in the family funerals. Some of them met at a funeral. Interesting message, not for everybody, but some of them met the karmic at a funeral, and that grief is what turned. They mistook their grief for passion or even the karmic's concern. Just the karmic checking on them, how you doing, and because it feels like the karmic knew the person that passed away, the deceased person, the dearly departed. The karmic knew them, some kind of way they were connected, so that they could be invited or come to a funeral to pay their respects. But in that, it was like a parting glance. But that karmic could sense the. I'm hearing introduction from a family friend. They were introduced by a family friend, and from there it just kept going. The relationship grew from there. And yes, the masculine was still talking to you, but it was something about the care and concern of this karmic that kind of intrigued them and wooed them. Because feminine, knowing us, we were probably in our feelings, doing our boundary setting, and being all in our fire energy, saying, I'm just gonna throw myself into my career if you don't know what decision you were gonna make, because these masculines were very indecisive at this time. So anyway, but this masculine learned about endings. He learned about death. He died. Some things about him died. Some things, some dreams and visions died, including his ego died. He had an ego death. In other words, he was like, I'd rather die to whatever she loved about me than to stay like this. So they actually, that fake persona or that mask they were wearing, that died too. And then same card, transformation. Some of them learned about transformation and illumination from this karmic. They learned that they don't have the same belief system that the karmic does. Some of them found new religion, I'm hearing, or they found religion. They found a religion, not dogma. I mean, like real spirituality, a way of doing things. Some of these masculines started to eat better. They started to fast. They started to exercise. They started to, I'm seeing turmeric. Some of the masculines began to understand herbal mixes. They became alchemists. Because of this relationship. Right up under the karmic's nose. She thought he was crazy. What are you doing now? You turned this kitchen into a laboratory. I can hear a voice saying, I can hear karmic just kind of, what are you doing now? What is that? What'd you buy there? What is that? Who are you? You crazy. You know what I mean? Eat this Hot Pocket and stop whining. You know what I mean? What do you mean you can't eat that? So anyway, this masculine learned about transformation and illumination. He woke up because he knew that what he was doing every day in and day out was not serving him. So he decided to go ahead and embrace spirit and go in the leading in the direction that spirit was calling him to go into. And he actually found himself because of this relationship. And you want that. Knight of Wands. What does masculine learn from this karmic relationship? He learned that the power was always in him. Again, the masculine was very codependent. Some masculines were very codependent. Could be Leo, Sagittarius, Aries energy. This is fire energy. But, and air is out here. If I didn't say that, I'm sorry. But air is out here. Gemini, Aquarius, Libra. You person watching or your masculine. But the masculine learned from this karmic relationship that the power was always inside of them. They learned that they can launch out and move very quickly and be determined once they set their minds to do something. Because like I said, these masculines were lulled into a false sense of security with this karmic, because that's how they got them. They wooed them. I'm seeing Samson and Delilah almost. Like Samson sitting on the, laying his head in Delilah's lap, and she kind of wooed him to into relaxation and said, tell me the secret. Tell me your secret. Tell me Samson. Some of you, your masculine likes to eat salmon, and so the karmic has salmoned him to death. Death card. She makes salmon all the time. Every time they get in an argument or she feels him slipping away, she'll, baby, I made you some salmon and some roasted red potatoes and some asparagus like you like it. She makes salmon, and your masculine likes salmon. But anyway, random. It's still a message. But anyway, thank you, spirit guides. Salmon. Okay. But the masculine learned that he could do, as long as he was determined, as long as he was focused, as long as he was driven and really tapped into his power, his root chakra, that he could really make some things happen in his life. So he came out of codependency. He came out of laziness, really, because some of these masculines were also very lazy. They played video games all day, or they stayed on the internet all day. They were on their phones, surfing the net, reading, stories, following headlines, trending. They were on Twitter. I'm saying a masculine that was like living off of tweets, like, and even saying, baby, to you, feminine, did you read so-and-so and so? Did you hear about so-and-so? And you're like, I don't even follow pop culture. What? You know what I mean? That some of you feminines were like that. But anyway, but this masculine learned throughout this karmic relationship, or in this karmic relationship, that they could really do, be, and have anything that they wanted. And what they want is you, boo. So that's what they learned. One more card, please. Bottom of the deck is 9 of Wands. I'll take this. That'll be my one. 10 of Cups. I couldn't help but peek at it, but look at that. But that's what he's getting, because he was a good soldier with these, right? He learned his lesson. So some of the masculines learned that though they fought hard, they could live to fight another day. Some of them literally learned that they could live to fight another day. And that's what it became. Because some of these masculines have been through a great deal of physical and emotional turmoil. Physical abuse, emotional abuse, turmoil, mental anguish with this karmic. Because a lot of these karmics were very, very, very damaged. Very, very mental, meaning they had literally some mental issues going on. Not just, she's so crazy, but literally, she's so crazy. She's crazy, So they have been through a great deal. And so what they learned is that they learned to choose their battles. They learned what they were going to fly up about or get angry about, because they suffered dire consequences when they unleashed the Kraken, if you will. And that's what some of them call the karmic, the Kraken, like the movie from the movie Clash of the Titans, release the Kraken, which was like a Loch Ness monster under the sea or something. Like, some of these masters say, you a sea monster. I don't know what it is. Maybe she likes to swim or whatever. I don't know. Maybe she's a Pisces. I don't know. But I'm hearing sea monster, and I'm hearing, release the Kraken. And so when the masculine released the Kraken, he realized that, yeah, I don't want to see that anymore. And so he got about his business, Knight of Wands, right here, right? Seeing what he was going to do to get out of this thing and get this lesson learned. He didn't even realize what he was doing, but it was all part of Spirit's divine plan for him. But yes, the masculine learned from the karmic that he could live to fight another day, and everything wasn't worth fighting about. Some of these masculines were very, very volatile. They had very bad tempers. You know that. Again, fire energies out here, air energies out here, Scorpio is out here. A little bit of water. Okay, so what is some advice that we could give the feminine as this masculine has learned? I thought my light was going to fall. Sorry, guys. Has learned his lesson. What is there anything else you want to say to us, Spirit, as I get ready to close? Thank you guys for watching. Is there any other messages you want to give from the Angel Oracle card as I get ready to close? Knock it twice, okay. Sir, knock it twice. Again, they learned a lot of balance. A lot of balance. how to do a lot of things. There was a lot of growing up in this relationship because it had to be. Because this, thank you, this karmic was very, ask your angels came out. Bottom of the deck, communicate clearly came out. Okay. So the masculine learned also how to ask their angels. They were in touch with the divine because of this. In other words, some of you masculines found religion. They found God. You know what I mean? They found God, it being with this woman, because they were like, surely there's a God somewhere, because I'm looking right in the face of the devil. I'm looking at the devil, so there's got to be a God somewhere. So they began to talk to spirit. They began to talk. They began to pray. They began to meditate. They began to find something that could center them. Okay? So they asked their angels for help, and they also communicated clearly. They learned to communicate clearly because they realized that when they didn't communicate clearly, things were being done for them. The karmic had no problem ruling over this masculine. Had no problem telling him what was what time the kids needed to go to bed, what time he needed to go to bed, what time the dog needed to be fed, what time the dog needed to be, taken out, just whatever, if there was a dog. But anyway, this masculine learned to communicate clearly and stand his ground, Knight of Wands again. And he learned to stand his ground. There it is again. He learned to stand his ground. So in doing that, that gave him his identity. He began to understand the power that he possessed, feminine. And that's what you want. You did not want this masculine, or you do not want him before he's fully baked, if that makes sense, before he's ready to come out of the oven. Like, for instance, you wouldn't take a cake out of the oven before it was done. So though this separation is very difficult, though the ups and downs in this twin flame journey is very difficult and can be very harrowing and can be very triggering, right? You don't want this good until it's been baked and it's got that crispy crust, the edges are brown on this thing. You want that. Otherwise, you'll be getting a mess. And so this is a cycle that he had to go through, but he's cycling out now. He's definitely cycling out now. Bottom of the deck is helpful people. So here it is. Again, ask your angels and helpful people. There's a lot of help coming in for you and this masculine. Not only the masculine, but for you too. There's going to be people assisting, even if it's your ancestors or your spirit guides, angels, ascended masters, just helping you bring this thing to fruition. So be patient with him. He has learned the lesson, not is learning, but he has learned the lesson, because this group that I'm channeling for right now is on the tail end of their journey, of their lesson, and they're closing out cycles. Bottom of the deck again, just want to encourage you. This is what he sees, and this is the reason for the lesson. 10 of Cups is on the bottom of the deck. That's all about happy home, happy life, happy wife, happy family, bliss, abundance, peace, joy, vacations, love making, cake baking, grass cutting, flower planting, cooking, laughing, loving, tripping, playing games, being with each other, understanding each other, constant communication, clear communication, patience, joy, stability. It's about all the things that you've dreamed of. This is the 10 of Cups, and it's all about your heart. Your heart's being healed. That's what you want, and that's where you're headed. All right, that's the message. You're masculine. Yay! Learn the lesson. All right, so with that, thank you for watching. If this resonated with you, or even if it didn't, still like it, it doesn't matter. It's just energy, right? Help me grow this channel. Help me keep our soul family growing and being productive. I'm going to keep on producing content and the messages as the Spirit gives me to help you. And we'll just work together. We'll just cooperate with this thing, right? So until we meet again, please take care of yourselves and each other. Bye.